Hello everybody, really excited to be back with you again today for another channel message, and then I'll also record the week ahead energy reading. Really powerful experience during an activation last night where I had Yeshua and Mary Magdalene come through. Prior to this recording, I got the guidance to pull out my Divine Masters deck, shuffle the deck, and look who came out. I've meditated on the energy a bit. I'm just going to open up the channel now, see what comes through, and then I'll comment if there's anything that needs commenting around what's come through during me tuning into this message before pressing record. Let's see what just wants to come through from my guides, possibly from Yeshua himself. Hello, young ones. Today we bring forward a message of a reminder that you are all here serving this timeline, and that each of you play a different role within this service. My story serves as a reminder of what this looks like, of how this can be done, and of the possible consequences of stepping into your truth and your role here on earth. I am here to remind you as we step more fully into this chapter of awakening on your planet. I am here to remind you that this comes sometimes at great expense for those that are here to lead the way. This cost, however, is a small price to pay for the impact, the ripple effect, you walking fully in your truth, in your authenticity, and leading from your heart has on the world around you. The persecution of others for speaking their truth, for being themselves, and for reasons that seem unfathomable to many of us, is not a new story. And this is the tipping point at which this can no longer proceed. For you as a collective are about to recognize this on a grand scale, both within and outside of yourselves. This is designed to cause fear and to keep you quiet, to regain power and control. Today's message is one to remind you to trust in my love for you. Trust in the support available to you, and trust in the bigger picture. For if you can trust, you can more easily continue to walk the path of truth and giving a voice to that which currently needs a voice. This is also an invitation to look within, to heal the parts of yourself that you also persecute, your truths, your shadow, as some of you may call it. This is a great purge, a great cleansing of the suppressed parts of ourselves on the collective and individual level that will remove the power of persecution that currently is occurring all across the globe. This is a reminder that across all timelines, persecution has been used as a way to suppress the power of the collective, the voice of the collective, the truth of the collective, and make you all feel part of the machine with no control. This is a cage created by your minds, and therefore can just as easily be dismantled by you finding the courage and conviction to walk your paths at this time, to no longer choose to hand over your power, your voice, your freedom to anyone else. To recognize that the persecution of yourself, the judgment of yourself, that is mirrored back to you in your judgment and persecution of others, is the key to freeing you from the cage in which you find yourselves locked. Your greatest act of service right now is to look at these parts of yourself and to heal them, to allow you to fully step into your path, your purpose, your truth, and influence those around you. This is humanity's rebirth moment. Right now, you are being asked to go into the cave, into yourself, heal yourself, ready to emerge anew and bring to life all that you are here to offer. I am so emotional again. I think I got really emotional in last week's message too, or actually the energy, week ahead energy reading. I'll be honest, I have not considered myself a religious person for the majority of my life, and despite not really growing up in an environment that caused any religious trauma, as I've walked this path, the concept and even using the words God and Jesus have been met with some degree of resistance within me. That has improved as I've reframed those within my mind as to what they actually mean versus what they mean within the context of religion, where the power is outside of us and where it is this force of judgment on us as humanity as to whether we are good or not good. And I've had Yeshua or Jesus come through a fair bit in recent months, which every time he does is such beautiful energy. But I think there's still been that part of me that has resisted it to some degree. And just then in that channel, which absolutely felt like that was him, I think even probably in the language that was used, my heart was so open. And I just felt this immense amount of love, not just for me, but for all of us, for all of the collective. And because I've resisted diving into that area from a really understanding his story and what he was here about, I feel almost like I don't have the framing to put enough around that as much as I would like to. So that's a lesson for me. But what was really clear in all of that was this reminder that regardless of how his story is presented across the various ways in which you can tap into it, he was here as a teacher, doesn't seem strong enough. But yeah, I just really get this sense that he was here speaking his truth in order to really guide those around him, but not in a hierarchical way, in a let's learn and grow and evolve together, and to teach other people to recognize the divine within them. And that is the exact moment that we are in right now, where people are needing to call upon that idea of the teachings of Yeshua to recognize the divine within ourselves. And even what I didn't recognize until the end of that channeling is we've just had the spring equinox, which is so closely linked to the idea of Easter within Christian religion, Ostera, and this idea of stepping into spring and rebirth, death and rebirth, which even with the Easter part of this, as he spoke to, gosh, this is making me emotional, as he spoke to, right now we need to recognize where we're persecuting ourselves just as he was persecuted on the cross, where we're persecuting others, judging ourselves. And then we need to spend some time going within, ready to reemerge and really step into what we're here to do. Just as his story was of emerging from, I'm not sure if the cave is the right word. This is how really not connected to his story I have been due to resistance. But he gave me those visuals of that rebirth moment for him, of coming out after really spending that time connected with himself and what he needed to look at. I think what I'd like to just read for you is the bit from the book, and then I will move on to the week ahead energy reading. Jesus of Nazareth is a bringer of truth and light. He is a guiding presence for the entire universe and a living, dying spiritual demonstration that forgiveness is possible and that a life of service will ultimately bring sustenance. When Jesus walked the earth, he was persecuted for his beliefs and bravery, and yet he still loved everyone, for he saw the world through the eyes of the divine. Jesus is everywhere at once. He is with you right now. Like the angels, he awaits your call, and with the help of the angels, he can restore you to your natural light-filled self. When you call on him, he will bring light to your mind. His presence removes the blindfolds that prevent you from seeing all the blockages that stand between you and your growth. Jesus may be a spiritual teacher, but he loves to be seen as a friend and a brother. He comes to us an equal and doesn't want us to idolize him, but to see that what he has, we have too. When this card appears, you are being invited to tune into the energy of service. Service is showing up with a generous heart and sharing your gifts in a way that can help the expansion of the world. It is important not to confuse the energy of service with charity, for these are two different energies, and when you serve, it is okay for your gifts, talents, and service to be honored in an energetic exchange. Today, the light of heaven is encouraging you to recognize that you deserve to be honored for the talents that you share. Jesus is here to help you move beyond any old ideas that you have to give until you are empty. You aren't here to live empty or half full. The divine plan is for you to enjoy fulfillment and abundance. Instead of asking the universe or God to use you, ask to be guided to serve in a way that also serves you. When you are full and overflowing, you have more energy and resources to share with others. All right, I'm going to wrap this one up here. I'll jump on and record the week ahead energy reading now. I can't quite explain the feeling I have right now, but it's very emotional, very beautiful. And it certainly feels like it is a year for us to really connect with exactly what this moment in time speaks to, and to do that in a way that aligns with recognizing the divine within. All right, everyone. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.